Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I'm finally back in South Africa after an incredible time at Herons Bonsai. It was so nice spending time with peterchan. So stay tuned and stay until the end of the video where I show you a little snippet of an interview we did and a little bit of the insight of our mindfulness and bonsai workshop. Look where I am. I'm at Herons Bonsai.
But I believe in SA you guys can import trees because I saw someone on a website selling black pines and all, which were clearly Japanese trees.
Yeah. So you can definitely import some trees.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, it's not so big in South Africa importing because it can be quite expensive.
See, like
but there's like the odd few type of people.
This is just the conifers, the quarantined ones.
Oh, beautiful.
The maples don't have to be quarantined.
Okay.
These have to be quarantined. So
this is your quarantine station.
Yeah, this is just junipers and pines.
Beautiful. So where are these all from? Japan?
They're all from Japan, yeah.
Lovely.
So,
sure, so much.
Last year we had a lot of trouble because there was some disease, so we had to destroy quite a few.
Okay.
But this year it's okay.
So do you normally do like one import a year?
Yeah, from Japan.
Okay, lovely. And do you only import from Japan?
We get some from Europe as well because some of the European growers grow European things, so we get those.
Okay.
And there are of course wholesalers in Europe, you know, they import much bigger than me. They import like maybe easily 30 containers a year.
Sure.
So we buy from them things that, you know, we wouldn't buy in that quantity. So they buy in huge quantities, like very large ficus and things like that.
Yeah, so more like where would you get that from? Like Taiwan or?
Yeah, Taiwan or China.
Mainly Taiwan and China, yeah.
Taiwan and China.
Lovely. Sure, I've only seen photos of this. I saw it's really exciting seeing it in person. Everything always looks way better in person.
If you saw my video when I went to Taiwan, that was incredible.
Yeah, how was that experience for you?
Whoa, pity we can't import from there because their trees, I tell you, are far superior to the Japanese trees.
Really?
And
okay.
they do it on they make bigger trees.
Yeah.
In Japan, every tree is no more than 1 meter tall.
Okay.
But in China, you have trees which are 3 meters tall.
3 meters tall,
3 and 5 meters, all in bonsai pots.
Yeah, and what is your preference, a smaller tree or a bigger tree?
No, I like big trees. You know, there's a time and place for everything.
Of course. Yeah, and that's what's nice about bonsai. Anyone can start out, you know, from big to small. So how often do you have to water these now in the spring?
These should be watered twice a day.
Twice a day, okay.
I'm not sure if they've done twice a day, but it doesn't look too bad.
Yeah.
But I water more to create a humid atmosphere.
Nice, okay.
So you don't have to just water the plant. I'm just spraying the air.
Nice.
You can feel it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hot in here.
Yeah. No, you can feel it. You can smell the humidity.
Of course, yeah. So is that always a good indication for you, like when you know you watered enough? Really pretty.
See, for people who can't import, they must really envy us.
Yeah?
In America, they import, but they got to bare root it.
Of course.
So they come without any soils and only wrapped in sphagnum. But how some of them survive really amazes me. They are successful, mind you, they are successful.
And the problem in South Africa, like our harbors, you know, sometimes can give us a bit of trouble. So they can be at the harbor for like 4 months.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what stresses me about.
Well, this year, these trees were on the ship for more than 3 months.
Sure.
Because with all these hooted problems,
okay,
they're going around the Cape, around South Africa.
And yeah.
And so in the old days, I'm talking of the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, okay.
We used to get them sometimes as quick as 3 weeks.
My goodness.
3 weeks, non-stop.
Sure. And how long would you get them now?
The last 2 times was 3 months.
Sure.
Not only has it got to go around the tape, what they are doing is that they're changing ships. The way the logistics works, they collect all the containers, supposing some are destined for Abu Dhabi. So the ship goes to Abu Dhabi. then they decant everything, then they change another ship.
Oh, wow.
So on this trip, they changed ship 4 times. 4 times they changed the ship, container to another ship, pile them on, and that goes on to somewhere else, that goes on to somewhere else.
My goodness.
So they changed ship at Singapore, changed ship at Dubai. No, Singapore, yes, Dubai, and then they came around the Cape and then changed at Le Havre and then came here. So they changed
My
ship about
goodness,
3 or 4 times.
Okay, sure.
So it's very
So
tedious.
it's quite a process. So these are, some of these trees are well traveled.
Yes. We don't like it because the longer they keep it on the thing, the worse. But the only advantage was that being in a refrigerated container, they were like semi-dormant, so we were okay.
I suppose that's like a good time of year to import.
Yeah, you can only import in the dormant season.
Okay.
So the rules are very strict, you know, very, very strict. See, that means we can only import between December and the end of March.
Okay,
Because,
sure.
And then we were very lucky because the ship took so long, we nearly didn't get it by the end of March. So that is also worrying.
Sure.
And you know, when you're talking about 100,000 pounds in one container, if that gets ruined, can you imagine how much money you wasted?
Yeah, that's
and they can't insure for plants. No, living things are not insured.
Sure. So I mean, are some of your famous trees insured, or
no? I didn't.
It's not really.
See, I have I shouldn't tell you this. No, it's too expensive to insure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's such a But I suppose it is possible to insure a tree.
Yes, it is possible.
If you want to spend the bucks.
Yeah, because I went to America, and when I was in America, I was looking at some trees. They were telling me some of the trees that these rich people have been buying are worth $500,000 US.
My goodness.
They're $500,000, a lot of money, big bucks.
So it's just two people who work with you.
No.
Okay.
We have 3 nursery staff.
Okay.
1 office girl, 2 part-timers.
Okay.
3 to 5, 6. I used to have 9.
Wow.
So
because I was going to say, so.
I interviewed a girl today, a Spanish girl.
Oh, lovely.
So I was hoping that she'll join me. So our full complement is 9. 9 full-time.
Wow. So so it's,
the wage bill is frightening.
Sure. So you're working extra hard. And are you mainly using like borehole water?
Yes, I am.
Nice.
See, this I dug from my hedge when I came in 1986.
Sure.
Look at this.
Let's take a better look at that. Wow, that is quite incredible. 1986. Sure.
Made from a hedge tree.
That's incredible.
It's getting there.
Yeah, it's coming along nicely.
It's just a trunk, but all this rotting is natural. It's naturally rotted.
Yeah, and sometimes that's what you want, you know, that natural rot rather than carving. You don't carve often.
I don't like carving.
Yeah,
I don't like carving.
prefer that natural,
natural
look.
Natural look. If there are hollows, I let it rot naturally.
Okay.
Kevin, you know, who comes here, he's a great carver.
Okay.
He's the UK's one of the, I regard Kevin Wilson as the top man in the UK.
At carving, sure.
No, at styling anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the best. He only left yesterday. He was here for 3 days.
Sure. Yeah, it would have been so nice to have met him, but there's always a next time. This is by far one of my favorite trees at your nursery. I don't know why, it just speaks to me. What is the story of that?
Well, I bought it off someone, but Kevin has restyled it. It was a bit rough looking.
Okay.
These you recognize. These I made exactly a year ago on YouTube.
Oh, cool.
All these were made for the YouTube video.
Yeah, this is gorgeous, sure. Yeah. And I mean, is that...
And they stay out here all year round. They're not protected at all. So they're such hardy trees.
Yeah.
Large. This was also a YouTube project, so a lot of people will recognize my YouTube project.
Very cool, yeah. Let me show us South Africans. These beautiful, everyone following Peter can have a look at them. Nice, really cool. Beautiful literati, sure.
See, those are Scots pines.
Yeah. Yeah, Very, very
Our
lucky to have
native
some
pines
Scott,
are very,
Scott
very good.
pines.
This was the tree from the cover of my masterclass book,
Oh, cool.
which I wrote in '86 and published in '87.
Okay.
So that's still alive. It
That's
was only
beautiful.
like pencil thick when I made it in 1980.
Sure.
I started making it in 1980.
Sure. And then this beautiful maple forest I walked through earlier, but you've got some
Yes.
gorgeous maples. When did you plant that maple forest?
Oh, must be almost 40 years ago.
40 years, wow, okay. Sure. And then is this like a man-made little pond?
Yes, I
Or-
made this
or
in
dam.
1990. So I came here in '86,
Okay.
and then after coming in '86, '86 I didn't do anything. So there was a big storm in '87, and after '87 we started rebuilding. So the front
Okay.
greenhouse was built after the storm,
Okay.
and this greenhouse at the back, I call this the back greenhouse. This
Yeah.
was built in 1990.
Sure, okay.
And when we built that greenhouse, we had to take the water away
And
to drain.
Okay.
So I asked the building inspector, can I make a soakway? Underneath the decking, there is a water tank which
Sure.
holds like 50,000 gallons of water.
My goodness.
And the excess of the water from the tank flows into the pond.
That's such a clever design.
So the pond is really just a glorified
Yeah.
receptacle to catch the rainwater.
Of course. And then this is where you do all your dancing.
Yes, that's
So it's
right.
really nice
Yeah.
to look out.
Yeah, the workshop is going to be there tomorrow.
Beautiful. Yeah, very excited for that. So we had such a good time today, hey Peter, with
Yeah,
our
very good,
mindful
very good.
workshops. What
Yeah.
did you think of it?
It was something new. I like to try new things, and I always feel that there must be a mindfulness element to every activity, not just for bonsai, whether it's cooking, dancing. It's always mindfulness. As long as your mind is there to enjoy the moment, enjoy it, it works. So it was a new thing because we're trying to combine it with our bonsai. Although how the bonsai fitted in, I don't know.
I think it was a lovely aspect to the whole
It
workshop.
just evolves. It evolves.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to continue with a few of those questions that people really want to know. So it gets a little bit more deep, I would say. Do you think the process of caring for a tree can mirror personal growth or healing? And if so, how?
I've had that thought put in my mind by some of my YouTube subscribers. They say that one of the reasons they like doing bonsai is that it teaches them how to care and nurture. Whether it's like nurturing a child or nurturing a tree, you're bringing them up. So it's that aspect which is very satisfying when it comes to bonsai. And
Of
because
course.
there's a time element involved, sometimes 40 years and the tree is not finished, so
Yeah.
you're bringing up something for 40 years.
That's incredible.
So that is the satisfying part of bonsai.
Of
So the
course.
patience, although some people are frightened about the thought of having to wait so long,
So long, yeah.
the very process of waiting that long adds to the enjoyment.
Definitely. And you've been doing it for about 59
60
years.
years,
60
yes,
years,
yes.
which is incredible,
Yeah.
yeah. So have you ever had a tree teach you something unexpected through your journey in it?
Well, you cannot predict what they do. It's like anybody, you can bring up your children, you can bring, trust in a friend, they can betray your trust and so forth. So with trees, sometimes, not all trees live forever,
Yeah.
Some of the trees are very old. I've got trees that are 300 and 500 years old, which came from Japan in the early 60s. I still have them. And on the other hand, I can have trees fairly recent and they suddenly die on you. So why do they die? You don't understand that.
Of course.
Same with people. So there are disappointments. So
But
you've got to
that's
take
with
it
life,
as it
and it
comes.
teaches
Yes,
us how to let go
absolutely.
and, evolve. So we've got another question here. Bonsai can be seen as a dialogue between human and nature. How do you view that with a relationship?
I think bonsai brings you closer to nature because you treat it almost like a pet or a baby. Whereas if you see a tree growing in the wild, it's just a tree growing out there.
Yeah.
But if something personal to you, then you get a closer bond and relationship with them.
That's
so
beautiful.
in that respect, a bonsai
I think
brings you even closer to nature.
Definitely. That's a really lovely response. Is there a meditative aspect to working with bonsai for you?
Well, I enjoyed doing a lot of the bonsai activities in the late evening when the staff have gone home. When everything is quiet, I then do it. And when it's quiet, I get even more enjoyment from doing it. So I'm not rushed.
Of course.
That aspect is important.
And I suppose you enjoy that time
Yeah.
of day, watering your trees. And, when I arrived here yesterday, you were watering your trees and it looked like you were just, lost in your garden, which is really
Although
so
you
beautiful.
think that it's a chore, it's not a chore. While you're doing it, you're thinking all sorts of things.
Of course. And how do you know when a tree is finished, or do you feel like a bonsai is never really truly finished?
As everyone knows, a bonsai is never finished.
Yeah.
That's the big difference between a bonsai and other works of art like painting or sculpture. So that's the fascination of bonsai. It's never finished. So you got to come back to it all the time. It can go bad, it can come up. So you've got to accept that.
Yeah, and many people say that even like to a song, a song is never finished, it's only abandoned.
Yes, that's right.
So I guess bonsai
never
can also
finished.
kind of, relate with that. So we've got, if bonsai is a form of storytelling, what kind of stories do you hope your trees tell?
Well, I suppose the process. I always like to think that we as human beings don't have enough knowledge of what the universe means or says or does. There's so much we don't know. Only recently, in the last few years, people have discovered that trees talk to each other through the roots, so they say. So there are many aspects of nature and the universe that we don't understand. So who's to know that, we're only touching the fringes. They can communicate to you. I'm sure they can communicate to you.
They must communicate. And I think communicating in different forms, it doesn't always have to, we can't feel those vibrations,
That's right.
but I think they can definitely communicate.
But the fact that you're playing with
us.
nature, you're playing with living things, playing with trees, brings you closer to nature. So the bond is even closer.
Of course.
If you just look at an ordinary tree in your garden, you don't have the same bond and feeling for it.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's some beautiful inspiration. Back in South Africa, we really are going to appreciate this. So thank you so much for taking the time and, letting me stay in your guest house. It's been such a pleasure seeing your gardens, especially in springtime. So if you guys are here in spring, really pop into Herons Bonsai. It's quite stunning.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Peter.
Okay.
Awesome. So I really hope you guys enjoyed my time at Herons Bonsai Nursery. What an awesome, awesome time I had. Thank you all so much for watching. Please give me a like, a subscribe, and give me a follow on Instagram. I'll see you all next week, Saturday.